Cuba, it's me, episode 231 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today I wanted to talk about how the majority normally rules and how sometimes it's okay to be different than everyone. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's cool. But what happens in anything in life, and wrestling too, if I like a certain wrestler and I buy a shirt, well that's great. But who is selling the most shirts? Who is getting the highest rating? The majority rules. It doesn't matter what I like, it matters what most people like. But in wrestling, there's so many things that are offered, and so many different styles, so many different wrestlers and what they do, and they're all different. A lot of people are the same though. But what is something in wrestling that you like that maybe everybody else doesn't like? And what is something that seems like a lot of people like, but it's just not for you? Now, on this show, many times I've said Finn Balor, for one, is just, he just doesn't do it for me. But there's so many things as well that I can't get on the bandwagon, and I don't want to be one of those guys. I can't get into any of the promotions. Like, even WWE, I barely watch that. I try to watch all the pay-per-views. Sometimes I'll watch Raw, sometimes SmackDown, and so I barely have time for that. But then when I try to get into, like, Impact or Ring of Honor or Lucha Underground, I just can't do it. It's something new, which I should just give a chance, but it's like, I don't see any stars, which, I mean, I guess they're trying to make stars, but I don't know, it just doesn't connect with me. I don't get that vibe that I connect with anything. And, like, I'll try to watch if somebody that I know from wrestling is on Ring of Honor or Impact and stuff like that. Plus, I don't have a lot of time. And I just can't get into the Japanese wrestling. I'm not into the New Japan. Like, for me, everyone was so excited about this Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho thing. And me, personally, I have no interest in watching it whatsoever. It doesn't, even the Twitter war and everything they're talking about, setting up for this, man, it fell so flat to me. Like, I mean, I get it. I understand why other people like it, and it was such a big surprise, I guess, and it's good for New Japan. It's almost like they have a competition now where people are starting to jump ship a little bit. So that's so good, and I want there to be competition. I want to get into something else, but I just haven't been won over yet. Maybe I should give it more of a chance, but how many hours do you think are in the day? What's some other things that I'm just not into? I've never really been into Triple H like everyone else has, like the whole NXT thing. I like watching the NXT takeovers. I enjoy them. The crowds are really good, and they give a lot of time for the matches, so the matches are usually enjoyable to me. But the weekly program, it just seems like the minor leagues, like because it is like that's the training, that's for them to get up there. But like the takeovers are great because they have great matches. They have lots of time for their matches. But the weekly show is just like they're trying to cram so much into an hour, trying to do promos, trying to put some new character over, and I haven't been won over by it yet. I like to support local. Like, I don't have time to watch all the indie promotions or money, so I don't go to any indie promotions unless I'm booked on it here in Ontario. But, like, I have respect for the ones that are doing big for them, and I'm happy for them because even if I don't know the people there, some of the people I do know wrestle for them, and I'm happy for that, but I still don't have time to watch it. And I don't even have TV. I only have internet, so it's not like I can just flick on and boom, watch whatever like that. And I can't pay $9.99 a month for 17 different networks. Like, I mean, and there's so much free content on like YouTube and other things like that. There's wrestling sites, so I can't justify when I'm making the money that I'm making spending it. I mean, if I was rich, I would support everything. I would buy people's shirts. I would buy every network. I would sponsor every show. Like, my heart is there. It's just that I just can't get into it. I'm trying to think of some other things that everybody seems to be a fan of, but I just don't like. There's quite a lot, I mean, but I'm trying to think of something that's like so over that I don't like. Do you ever get that where that's all anybody is talking about, that's all you hear, and you just can't, it's just not for you, and you're like, why? Like, I I have no interest in this whatsoever. Man, I've seen that's the thing too. I have respect for some of these people. Like some of the people that I don't have an emotional connection with as wrestlers, I still appreciate that other people do, and when they do good matches, like Sasha Banks. I've never been a Sasha Banks fan, but there's been about 6 or 7 matches of hers that I've really liked. So I understand why other people like her, but to me, she should just be a heel. She's such a good heel, but like I understand why people respect her and cheer for her because it's the wrestling business. So nowadays, people know so much, so they're like, wow, you had a good match, we can't hate you. It's just like the whole Miz thing. He's doing such good work as a heel that now he's so over because people respect it. But this is the Willow Show. I like to hear from you guys. So what is something you like that not a lot of people like in wrestling? And what is something you don't like that everybody seems to like? Because as always, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!